www.asfericnews.com. In case you want to get us information or you want to call in during our conversation online, please do not forget to call on us or send out SMS on our WhatsApp message on +234 809999 99998117, and I repeat +2348099998117. My name remains Israel. Join us this morning as we discuss our trending news, and especially the current stories trending in the new newspaper headline. First to discuss the newspaper headline will be on Daily Trust. In Daily Trust newspaper, we have high cost hunger consumers access to electricity meters. Only 38% of 12.6 million registered customers have meter. We were giving second-hand meter with accumulated bills. Expert push for fresh meter. IERC says soon. Recently, Nigerians are beginning to discover there's shortage of power in some areas, and some people say it's because of dry season and there's not enough water in the dam and all of that. But let me ask you that question. Some people also complain that they have accumulated bills, and what's your take on that? What have been the experience with electricity in Nigeria?
Well, there is no need to sugarcoat it anyhow, because we all know that the situation with energy situation in Nigeria is a pathetic one. So, and for a very long time now, some people have been clamoring for a kind of a state of emergency in the energy sector. Well, so far, the power generation is between 6,000 megawatts to 7,000 megawatts in Nigeria, so, and which is quite below the recommendation for over 200 million population. So that is a problem. So, and then in this particular case now, they are talking about the tariff, the high charges, and the aspect of the meter itself. Well, everything regarding the meter is something that is shrouded with a kind of a secrecy and corruption, because I could recall that sometimes ago, I think back in 2019 or so, under the present administration, they ordered for 11 million meters, so that which the federal government has already paid, so to be distributed around the houses. So up to now, nobody know how it goes, whether it was the program was carried on or not. Nobody know. And then the situation today is that many homes are still using estimated billing, and the estimated billing is something that is quite outrageous. Even the cost of acquiring a meter itself is so cost. Now that is what the Daily Trust is saying, that look, due to the high cost of the meter, many homes cannot afford to buy the meter. Presently, the cost of buying a meter is going between 70,000 to 100,000 naira, which is quite outrageous. That is the situation now that we are facing now. And then you discover that of recent, even in my own house, I'm using estimated billing, whereby my house, they gave me a bill of 50,000 naira, which is the current bill now, 50,000 naira, from 18,000 to 50,000, and they are expecting me to say I should go and pay. We are talking about at the time whereby there is inflation, there is everything. In fact, we should look at it critically from the economic perspective, that look, the minimum wage in Nigeria is just 30,000 naira, and they are giving somebody a bill of 50,000. How do you expect him to go about it? Are you expecting him to go and dip on somewhere else and get money and pay this? That is the situation. You discover that every month people must go extreme end to make sure that they pay the disco's money, which is to me, if you look at it from the economic angle, you discover that there is a linear relationship between your income and the consumption expenditure. When you are paying a utility bill of light, you are talking about water, you are talking about some other things, then you come over to the aspect of the school fees of children. That is the situation now. But if you look at it, the outcry from the public is that government approved the tariff, whereby the discos are charging arbitrarily as it pleases them. Then they talk about, even the discos, they are crying that look, that the cost of doing business is high on them. But we should look at it very well. As long as we continue to be using estimated billing, it means that discos will be shortchanging the consumers. That is the situation. They should make the meters affordable. If the meters are affordable, every house is, even instead of you to decide to use estimated billing, you on your own, you can gladly go and pick a meter and put in your house so that the NEPA will not shortchange you. That is the situation.
But you know, some people in rural areas, some of them say that they prefer estimated bill.
Well,
but if you also, if you are very careful, you also find out that you pay more than underestimated. You pay more than what you are. Maybe if in a house that don't have ACs and all of that, don't have a lot of facilities, and you are still paying like 3,000 naira. So you just live in a small apartment, you are paying 3,000 naira. You are not using AC, you are not using fridges. Some those really don't have that, and the compulsory estimate bill they can have is 3,000 naira per unit. So what case? And also don't forget that there are different agencies that provide electricity, not just NEPA. But my concern is the number of people registered. The number of people registered so far, because this process didn't start now. So if they are saying it's only 36% of 12.6 million registered on a prepaid meter, on registered consumers have meter.
Well, the whole thing is all about the policy itself. Recall that in 2017, 2018 to up to 2019, FGN paid for meters, about 11 million meters. That is what they say they paid for, so that individual houses can have meters. Because the complaint then is that the amount of energy that is being disbursed out doesn't commiserate with amount of revenue that is coming in. It means there is a missing link somewhere. And because of that, government decided to say, okay, look, since the outcry is coming from the disco itself, that look, they are being shortchanged meters, and the government decided to pay for that meter. That was what they told us, that they paid for the meter. What is stopping them from making sure that every houses have a meter? That is the issue. So nobody knows what is happening. For instance, the aspect that you are talking about, some people prefer to use the estimated billing. Well, the fact is that if you are in Abuja, you discover that the axes that are on 33 kVA line, they pay more higher. So if you are on that particular route and you find yourself to become a low-income earner, that is where the problem comes. That look, whatever they are charging people, like in Gwarimpa, which is a high-brow area, you that you are living somewhere in a Kuba or a Kuba village, they are expecting you to pay exactly the same thing with someone that is living in Gwarimpa. So whether you are using estimated billing or you are using meter, that is what you are paying. So it's a kind of a thing that to me it's continue to lead to this poverty that we are dealing with in Nigeria today. We should look at it when we are trying to tackle poverty. Poverty tackling is a holistic. It requires a holistic approach. If you discover that you say, okay, minimum wage is 30,000 and they are giving somebody a bill of 50,000 naira, it means that where do you want to go and get that deficit from? That is the situation that we are dealing with today. So government should be able to handle the aspect of meter, so that every house must have meter. If you have a meter in your house, if you choose to use light, fine. If you don't choose to use the light, at any time that you want to use the light, you can upload it. Well, the other aspect, which is the service charge, I don't know whether you are still charging the service charge, whether you use or you don't use, you still pay that. I don't know of that. But as long as we continue to use the estimated billing, we will continue to create that poverty.
Well, let me ask you, so to you, Mr. Israel, Alhaji has also clearly his own view, and if you notice that a lot of people really do not have electricity in their homes, and the issue of government is also implementing, they try to make sure people have have electricity, because that is what's generating income, that's what people use to work every day. And let me ask you a simple question. In your area where you stay, and I'm looking at the scenario where recently people are complaining that there's a high tariff on electricity. So there was an increment, and people were really not aware. So I don't know if there's a publication about that, but a lot of people say we're not aware, and why did they have to increase the NEPA bills that we're really not aware? What is your opinion on that, and what do you have to say?
Thank you, sir. What has always been my issue in Nigeria is the issue of decisions in Nigeria. when the fundamental decisions are wrong, everything are bound to be wrong. For instance, we are talking about Mr. Alaji just mentioned, gave us a few statistics. If I'm earning 30,000 naira and I'm to pay 50,000 naira, is that the only thing I'm spending the whole of my income on? Now, decisions are like dots, and life itself is dots. When you make the right decision, you make the right drawing out of the dots of life. Nigeria has always been on the issue of making wrong decisions on so many things. For instance, the issue of light we are talking about now, we are saying we have 11 million meters. If what I heard Alhaji said, that we have 11 million meters produced. Now, how many can we really account for? That's an issue on its own. We are saying 11,000. Nigeria is that when you give out figure, it is presumed that the deed has been done. There will be no monitoring. There will be no data to figure out what are these things that we have done. Are they really? Have these meters gotten into the right hands? Have they been given to the right people? Are they given to people who will make use of it? And at the end of the day, we have issues that the problem we are trying to really solve become compounded. And so, from my own angle of view from this, I just realized that the decisions are wrong ab initio. And when your decisions are wrong, you can never achieve your aim. There is no way someone will celebrate mediocrity and expect excellence to be your result. They are not issues. But once your decisions are wrong, definitely everything that will come out of it will be imbalanced. They will completely be wrong.
All right, so thank you for that. Let's also look at our Tribune newspaper. Tribune newspaper, some of the top stories on Tribune that we have. PDP asked EFCC to provide update on petitions against Tinubu. EFCC should provide updates on petition against Tinubu. And Kogi government has not withdrawn support for Tinubu. He has mobilized 75% Kogi votes, APC, that's what APC said. And redesigned naira, CBN launch cash sweep program for rural dwellers. That is coming from the CBN governor. And affiliated to politicians, tough verbal, physical violence. I mean, word to word. They also have customs on high alert to intercept, military camouflage ammunition spokesperson. Let me ask you this question. Let me go to you. The issue of PDP asks EFCC to provide update on petition against Tinubu. If you recall, like within the week, there was this backlash, like PDP was attacking APC, APC was attacking, the candidates. Both of them was having some words and all, and there were a lot of allegations to each other, and there was petition was written. And now PDP is calling out for what's your looking at our Nigerian democracy. What is your opinion on that?
Thank you, sir. Most of the times, we'll see that politicians always play politics with everything. When you have petitions, there are institutions that are supposed to attend to it. If you have a genuine petition, you know the institution where you have to place your petition before, and necessary actions will be taken. But when you are alleging that someone did something and you cannot substantiate, then you don't have any cause before the law, because the law requires that you present evidence before anything you are anything you are alleging anyone has done. If I will just come up and I mention your name and I begin to say you did this, you did that without alleging, that's just newspaper war. And this goes a long way to create tension in the polity. But in a situation where you have anything against anybody, the proper thing is that present your petition before the right institution to attend to it. And so when the institution verifies that all your allegations are genuine, then the right course of action will be taken. I remember then when Gani Fayemi was against Tinubu, he will present his matters before the court, and the court will make decision on it. But severally, we have had several petitions from either PDP, APC, and all the stuff. But at the end of the day, they are not substantiated. So when you have anything, present your evidence and argument before a court of law, and the court will make pronouncement of whatever the situation is.
Let's look at the redesign of naira, and federal government have launched a program to sweep out this currency from the rural area to meet up the deadline. And bank is also lamenting that this money is still not available. We don't have access to it.
Well, let me start from the aspect of the money depositing banks. There they are saying that, look, that money is not enough. But CBN is saying that, look, the money is enough. That the CBN is even saying that Nigerians should report any particular ATM that you go to, and the ATM is still dispensing old currency. Well, it means that something is wrong somewhere. If CBN is coming out to tell Nigerians that, look, report any bank that is still dispensing old currency, it means that they have already
diversion somewhere.
The money to the circulation. And the money is being, now instead of going into Nigerians' hand, is being channeled to somewhere else. It means the essence of the policy itself is being defeated, because if CBN is releasing the new currency and the new currency is not getting into the circulation, that is the essence of the policy itself is defeated. Now, a lot of before now, even governors, they came out, they cried out that, look, their citizens will be affected, that if the CBN decides to stick to that 31st January deadline date, their citizens will be affected. But I can tell you, Dr. Israel, that up till now, some ATM machines are still dispensing old currency. It means that 31st deadline, it will be a problem. Though CBN is now saying that, look, they are coming out with a money swap system whereby take it to the rural area whereby there are no banks, go back and trade your old currency and get a new one. Even at that, we have 774 local government in Nigeria. These are the local government only. Then across every local government, we have villages and hamlets. Is CBN telling us that, look, they are going to deploy all their machineries to all these hamlets so that they mop up this money? It's going to be very difficult. Though
even the market women.
Yes. Before now, okay, in fact, a lot of problem within the banking system.
Like yesterday, let me not take it. Like yesterday.
Okay, honestly, I was going to support what Alhaji said. Last Saturday, I was catching fun, and I decided to go to the market. I visited about 21 places. Not even one person, only one person, received transfer from me. And you are saying we are talking about a cashless policy. This thing is not working. I did that in Papeye. I walked to about 21 places. I was just catching for that. Okay, let me test this policy that central bank is. You are hearing something from central bank, and so another thing is playing out in the policy. That comes back to what I said initially, that when it comes to issues of decision in Nigeria, we are completely off track, and that is why things will never come right. It is not that you are doing anything. Once your decision is life. Once you have wrong decision, you have wrong life. It's as simple as that.
Go ahead, let me hear you.
Well, if the essence of this money regulation of money in the circulation is all about, probably CBN now says that money is being hoarded somewhere, and the election is coming. Since the election is coming, how do we tackle this issue of vote buying? Probably this is one of the aim of the policy at this critical time. But let's ask ourselves this question: have they been able to achieve the aim of, let's assume that if it is for politics to say, okay, we want to deter politicians from spending naira and this thing. For crying out loud, even a commissioner of a state, a commissioner in a state, he doesn't even visit the banking hall to say, okay, he's going to do transaction. Is it a governor or a senatorial candidate that is going to this? These are people that they are well-privileged people. All they need to do is to place a call to their bank account officer, and the bank will even move to their house and give them whatever they want. So this policy of saying, okay, if CBN decide to stick to 31st January deadline, certainly a lot of people will be affected. a lot of market women, a lot of farmers, a lot of people within the rural area, no matter whatever the CBN is promising that, look, this is what we are doing, they will succeed. Because my mother in the village, my father in the village, my grandfather in the villages, certainly they don't even have access to this radio to say, okay, yes, they have access to the radio, unless they see it. If they see the CBN come around, and they now say, okay, my 10,000, 20,000, or 100,000 that they have that they put under their bed, then they will take it and change it. That is the situation. But Dr. Israel, I will tell you this for a fact that, look, if we should go by history, you discover that both in those people in the rural villages, by the time the CBN official decide to go there, they will now a kind of a corrupt system whereby you now say, okay, if you have 20,000 naira, instead of 20,000 naira, they will give you 16,000 naira. 4,000 naira will be like a commission. That is where we are heading to now, and that is if the CBN decide to stick to this deadline date. Instead of that one, if we are going to maintain this new currency, they should just leave it open. Any money that go to any old currency that go to the bank, it shouldn't come out from the bank again. Banks should continue to dispense new currency until finally they phase out the old currency.
All right, so in case you're joining for the first time, don't forget to follow us on our social media handle, on official Aspheric on Facebook, Instagram. We have Aspheric News. On Twitter, it's also Aspheric News. Then also do not forget to watch us on our channels, our YouTube channel, in case you're watching it from the social media handle. We just want to get a comment, and if you are commenting, please let us know where you're commenting from, or your content. On our YouTube channel is Aspheric TV. Aspheric is on our YouTube channel. Do not forget to read more about breaking news stories and updates on www.aspheric.news.com. In case you want to send a content, or you want to also, you have something you want to share with us, information relating, your area, do not forget to send us a WhatsApp message on the +234 809999 8117, and I repeat +234 809999 8117. Let me just ask you this question. Looking at the redesigning of Nigerian currency, if you recall that the Minister of Finance was not alongside at the beginning stage, alongside with the CBN, and CBN. So what's at the point? Okay, the president had to back it up because we need to make some changes, and the president has promised that this forthcoming election will be transparent. Nobody will be intimidated by resources or money. So he tries as much as possible to reduce buying of votes. Because if this cash is out there, you'll not be able. Out there, some people will use money to buy up the votes, and he want Nigerian vote to count for the first time. Jonathan tried it, and I think I got 50% of vote transparency than previous elections and all of that. And he wants to do it more better than how Jonathan did that. And let me ask you one question: the institution of CBN. Also, you have read some stories of arrest of the CBN governor, and also you have some stories of how he was safe and all of that when he arrived and all of that. And for me, and Nigerians are saying, okay, this is a good idea. The limit you ask us to withdraw per day is too small. For example, like as you said now, an ordinary woman in the market does not have access to online banking. Other women in the market doesn't have access to, does not have much access to, electronic phone that can access internet and can use to do transfer. Does not even know how to receive alerts. Do you understand? And so they were saying that there would have been a proper sensitization, and also this would have commenced during the TSA. So they would have started it earlier before now. Let me ask you, what would be the effects if this dream didn't succeed? Are we going to go back to use our old currency, or will now keep circulating the new currency? Because now banks are looking for money and say they don't have the money, according to banks.
From my point of view, I am entitled to my opinion. And I've been issued from the foundation of this. I strongly note the opinion that the whole scenario is apolitical, as in is politically informed, and now I seem to have been justified over the few weeks, because initially the money was supposed to be to come up since November 15th. Later it was shifted to about a month to December 15th. and eventually we are just seeing money, and we are saying by January 31st there will be a complete end to use of the old notes. This is not working. I don't see it working. I don't know how many people have even seen the new notes. I don't know how many people who agrees with the terms of the something. There is nothing wrong with CBN making that decision, because the law allows the CBN to make that decision. But the timing, the way the CBN has gone about it, and that issue also boils down to the issue of decision. These are not the way serious decisions are made. If you ask for me, in my humble opinion, this is not a serious decision. If it were to mean anything, I don't think this is the way it should have been. The CBN would have gone about it. But the way it is now, if the CBN insists on January 31st at the end of this, I don't see success in what the CBN is doing.
Okay, so let's talk about the attack on Nigerian train through Ajakuta Warri area. By God's grace, some people were safe. Everybody was safe. But the vanguard going on, this should be the second time that's happening. What's really thing that need to be done and Nigerians is not doing, or the government is not doing?
Thank you very much. Public asset is a critical asset. Public asset belongs to every Nigerian. Public asset deserve protection by every Nigerian. But it seems as if up till now we still have people that believe in sabotaging government effort. These are legacy projects that it's not easy to come by. And then you now discover that some hoodlum somewhere will just get up overnight and go and cut the track just because they're of greed. They'll just go and cut the track without giving consideration to how this project come into being. Well, it's all about the legislation, because a situation whereby we have a stringent law whereby a law will criminalize a person who make attempt to sabotage government effort by life imprisonment, or let's even assume a life sentence. You discover that before any other person would think about to say, okay, I'm attempting this, he will think about his own life too. If in a situation whereby he's been caught. Before now, a lot of persons too were arrested. Just sometimes 2 years ago in Nasarawa here, I think a councillor of a local government was involved in this cutting of these railway tracks. Up till now, have they been used as a scapegoat to prove a point to say, okay, they will use by when they are being prosecuted to use as a scapegoat to serve as a deterrent to others? Have they been prosecuted? Up till now, we have not seen that. So, in a situation whereby we have a weak judicial administration whereby everybody can get up, do whatever he like, and then at the end of the day, the case will drag for a very long time without prosecution. It will give room for other persons too to make attempt too. You understand? Nigerians, I'm not gonna say that look, Nigerians are wicked. I'm not saying so, but we have within Nigeria, we're a country of over 200 million or thereabout. Certainly, you should expect people of diverse character within us. If not, how can somebody, a sane-minded some individual, will just get up and say, okay, you cut this track. When you cut this track, certainly there will be a kind of a mishap or an accident there. When there is an accident, certainly life too will be affected. Well, we thank God in this case that over 140 passengers on board of this train, and nothing happened to them, and they were rescued. So we need law. It's all about law and enforcement. If we have a law and the enforcement is stringent enough, is strong enough, the institutions that like police and the civil defense, who are two security agencies that are being saddled with the responsibility of policing and our critical infrastructure, if they are working very well, it means that whoever is making an attempt, that person will be caught in the act and will be prosecuted. And when that person is prosecuted, it will serve as a deterrent to some other persons too that are planning to attempt on make attempt on a public asset like a railway or even road and telecom facilities.
So what do you have to say? What is your contribution?
Thank you so much. I was going to look at, in addition to what Alhaji said, there are laws in Nigeria. I'm privileged to be trained as a lawyer. I know there are enough laws in Nigeria that can handle so many things. But the problem is that most of the time, what we see what plays behind underground is even much more than what we see in the physical. It's just like Nigeria is trying to feed the social media with so many things. How can I, who doesn't know anything about rail track, go and cut it? It's not possible. You know, these are internal things that are done within. Because someone like me who doesn't have knowledge about how the rail moves, except for me to just get my ticket, get into it, and get to my destination, how do I cut rail track? How do I call these vendors if I don't know anything? So most of the time, these are internal things that are done. They are not things that are done externally. Some people are feeding fat on it. At the same time, they are feeding the social media. And once people get to social media, you just realize that even the Nigerians don't know how to use the social media. Once the thing trend, they go about it, they just send it to the other. That's the end of it. And whoever the culprit is gets away with it. And so, like Alhaji said, if someone has been made a scapegoat, then you will see a serious nation. But we are not a serious nation. So that's why all these things will be going around and here and there. This is the second time. Even the day that was, I think I watched the news when the day the Abuja Cardinal Rail was restored. I think the presenter or the reporter was saying something that though the policeman has been dispatched to the scene of the scene, but let us wait and see for how long will they be able
No, there's a news that they've been arrested. That news is coming up. It is on newspaper headline today. The attack of Abuja Kaduna, the suspect has been arrested, and in Zuba, yes, they were arrested. And at the same time, we should commend our security agencies. You know, they are really doing well. Also, the attack on the Itabewari rail line also has been they also have been apprehended, and the system is doing well. The problem is that, like I keep saying, I don't want to be partisan, but I keep saying that look, our security system is doing well. The problem they have is you and I. It's information. They work with information. Let me tell you, anybody who steals come from a family, and there's no way that family there's no way they will not know. They will not know that that's one of your son or one of your cousin, one of your relative steals. It's normal. So it's information. I'm not saying that you need to go and arrest your brother or siblings and all that. No, but the problem is us. So we would like to cover up. Do you understand? The point is that I think Nigerians need to help security agencies global all over the world. If for example, if there's any incident that happen around this area, it's not my business, but I can call police. Can call police to come and check what is happening there because it's not my business. But actually, not my business. But here, nobody will do that. Do you understand?
I think in addition to that, you look at it very well. We have the police that see the populace as their own. You understand?
When they say police is your friend.
Police is your friend. It's just a mantra outside there because in a situation where you call the police to say police come, police will start asking you that you now become a suspect yourself. That how did you understand? These are things that is making Nigerians to really.
More to that, like at the end of the day, like you said, arrest is one of the processes of justice, true justice. We have had political, thuggery and election and all this stuff. We have had of arrest. NDLA, we have had of arrest. What do you call it? Different arrests from different sectors. But how many have really been prosecuted? When justice is delayed, it means it is denied. So once you are arresting people, we've heard of Boko Haram arrested and they still escape. So what is it? Who is going to stake his life to help the nation? If the police that are doing this are saying that they are not doing anything, they will be weary. We are all human beings. So it should go beyond arrest. We should go beyond arrest to prosecuting and ensure that they serve their jail terms or whatever punishment that is accorded to the offense. Then people will be aware that the laws in Nigeria is really working.
All right, so we're also going to bring you some stories from national newspaper headlines. We're going to bring you some stories that happening today. Today, the president will be commissioning the Lekki Deep Sea Port. Some of you know that this administration started it, And I don't want to, Alhaji, I mean, how do you really feel? Because I think you witnessed one or two occasions that you were present at the Lekki Seaport, and when it was under construction. And today, MPA and the concession company and yesterday they badged the first commercial vessel at the seaport, which the president will now, commission today.
Yeah.
And how do you feel?
Well, this is a kind of a mega project that the first of its kind in West Africa, which is a deep water port. We have other ports, but this one is a unique one because the kind of ship and vessel that are expected to bash there, they are large. I've forgotten the figure of the kind of size of the vessel, but it's going to be a very massive vessel that will barge there. It means that importation and exportation would be made easy through that port. We should give kudos to the former Minister of Transportation who conceived this idea of this deep seaport in conjunction with the Lagos State government and the NPA. Today now the reality is now it has become a reality instead of that process of being a project that is being conceived or a dream. It's now a reality that we have it now. That the reality is that President Muhammadu Buhari administration has been able to have another thing again that it will point at to say, look, I started this and I completed it within the lifetime of our administration. In terms of the economic benefit, it's going to yield over $14 billion annually. So it means that it's going to be an economic, to be like a cash cow for the government of the federation and all other agents that are connected to the seaport. Kudos to the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. Kudos to Minister of Transportation. Kudos to the Nigerian Port Authority for having this project coming alive today.
What do you have to say about that, please?
I am an optimistic person, not a pessimist. But my concern is that most of the things we do, ceremonial part of issues, subject and things like this. No, this is a very good achievement from my own point of view. But the fact is that the maintenance, how far do we sustain this? Because that is where the reality comes. It is when it is able to produce the kind of figure of what it can generate in terms of economic values. That is when it is really a project, not when we do the ceremonial, celebration or exposure of what we have done, but maintaining it to produce the real value for which it is created is my concern. How far can Nigeria handle this?
So, President will be spending 2 days working visit in Lagos, and another project that will be commissioned. And with looking at this massive investments by the federal government and actualizing them, what do you really think that will be the impact and end of? Because Nigeria will now have more employment. There will be more employment, and at the same time, there is also going to be more import and export, because the port will be used to receive. And do not forget that the government is trying to ensure that there will be decongestion within the Apapa axis and seaport, and while the rail is also conveying the containers through cargoes through the rail. Then another way of also evacuating the container, decongesting the Apapa airport also will come from Lekki seaport. And all of this, an achievement, like you said, is a massive achievement. But do you think that Apapa port will be decongested?
Well, you ask almost about 3 or 4 questions into one. Let's look at it from the economic benefit. Apart from, you mentioned about employment creation. Let's look at it from the revenue generation. Till now, the wharf in Benin Republic, our neighboring country in Benin Republic, still remain a choice destination for importers in Nigeria. Why? Why is it so? It means that we have a certain thing that we have not really been able to get it right. Like for instance, of the issue of custom tariff, custom exchange, custom importation duty. If it is our duty that is faulty, whereby our importers will choose to go to Benin Republic, import vehicle into Benin, then bring it into Nigeria here, then something is wrong somewhere. So if it is about the clearing or the shipping cost that is much more cheaper in Benin Republic, certainly something need to be done. So it's not going to be like it's going to be like a holistic approach whereby to get this problem solved, whereby instead of Nigeria losing revenue to our neighboring countries, we should look into it critically. For instance, recently I saw a video whereby double taxation, double levies are being paid. You discover that on our, I'm diversing to, it's something like our Nigerian road now. You discover that a haulage truck that is haulage from Lagos to somewhere like in Kaduna is going to pay levies, virtually the same levies from all the way from Lagos down to Kaduna. At the end of the day, that truck company, how is he going to make his money? He'll make his money from the owner of the goods that is transporting. So, and when he charge the owner of the good, certainly the owner of the goods too will task whoever is a consumer, whoever is relying, who is going to be his client too. That is how it is. It means that the ordinary people will still continue to be paid. So if government want to like solve this issue of this importation from into Benin Republic, they should look at it from holistic angle to say, okay, what is wrong? Why is it that we have this massive project and Nigerians too are not using it, are not using the benefit, are not like key into it maximally? They should look into it. Then the aspect of decongesting Apapa, well, it's really sad that till this very moment, a lot of measures have been made by NPA and even Ministry of Transportation and the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing regarding how to decongest Apapa. Right from Mile 2 down to inside Apapa, you discover that it continuously. It's like from January to December, it will be locked, despite the road. So it means something is wrong somewhere. Just like the former Minister of Transportation decided to like say, look, he begged when President Buhari, he begged him regarding how to like link the new port in Lekki
to railway
by railway, so
yeah,
that as goods are being, as cargoes coming in through the sea, it should be ferried from there to the hinterland through the rail. That is the concept in the Lagos Ibadan rail. That is why they decided to link between Ebute Metta down to Apapa Wharf, to link it by the rail. I don't know how they like, just like Mr. Israel said that, look, another aspect is this continuity. Once one particular public servant is no longer in the office again, you discover that there is this discontinued. It's not supposed to be so. A policy is supposed to be to predate the occupier of the office at that particular time. So we don't need to see that. If we see that, you now discover that by now, if the railway from Yaba down to Apapa is being done, certainly by now, cargoes from the port will be decongested from there down to Ibadan, and you now see trucks will now convey those cargoes from there to their choice destination by road. You discover that instead of trucks coming into Lagos, they will not come into Lagos again. They will stop over in Ibadan, whereby Ibadan is more or less like it's not as congested as Lagos. But in this case now, up to now, you now see trucks coming over to Apapa. So, but we should expect that the government should like link the new port, the new deep sea port in Lekki by rail. By the time they do that, I believe that problem of the congestion in Apapa will be decongested.
All right, what do you have to say about that? The economic benefits.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a food for thought that I think Nigeria holistic approach on things. Decisions are not picked in the air. You conceive ideas. You look at it holistically and bring out the value out of it. That is when it is meaningful. When you just look at the ceremonial aspect, we want to achieve this, or probably we had one country is doing this, one nation is doing this, and we want to imitate them. At the end of the day, we have stopped at just the ceremonial aspect of it and the value. Talking about the economic value, we are sure it's going to be more of a busy place that will provide employment opportunity that's going to generate serious income for the nation. But until except these things is looked at holistically as suggested by Alhaji, there will be nothing that will be coming out of it.
All right, I want to say big congratulations to at least the former Honorable Minister of Transportation and the Right Honorable Chibika Mechi, who also contested as a presidential candidate on that All Progressive Congress under APC, because the history will never forget him. His legacies in Nigerians and what he done in Nigeria, especially the Ministry of Transportation, how he was able to, dedicate himself and give himself out there for, that service. Delivering, and that actually what Nigerians, that is what the government actually needed at the point where he came on board. How he revived the railway, revived the maritime industry. There is so many changes, the changes we are making. He was out there pushing, and we will not forget the number of times he told.
Make sure he talk to the contractors, he insists that,
and he kept shouting,
I recall a particular incident in Lagos Ibadan. He was just telling the contractor, say,
we don't have to.
Is that what you do in your listing? Anytime, I understand what you people are doing, that anytime that we are coming for inspection, you go and gather people and bring, and that. Once you go, you now decide, know that, look, I will not take this, that you must this. And he makes sure that thoroughly he goes into the toilet to check, to say, look, one particular incident again, he said, look, this particular room that is always locked, I want to enter here today.
And they open it, and they said there was no key. I remember they said there was no key. He said, I will be here until they bring the key. Can't bring the key. You want to open it.
You understand? Contractors, they have their own way of doing things. So they now decided to say, okay, because that room is like a control room whereby nothing was done there, they decided to lock it so that he will not have access to that room.
And the police for them, he will have to stay there. I remember an incident during that Lagos Ibadan railway construction, that at the point, if you recall, there was a point where there is a river. Remember, that cut out they were all constructing. I can't remember the name of that river. And the contractor said they are actually not doing anything on the other side of the river. Like, so we get a point, and the contractor say, no, Your Excellency, you cannot cross here. He said, why? Why can't I cross here? He said, we'll not cross here. There's a river. The river is too deep. The car cannot cross. We have to turn back. But he said, no, I want to see what's happening there. I've done anything there. He said, we are walking there. We're walking. He said, I must go there. What he now did, he have the corner from his car. And I said, order everybody to come back from their vehicle. And I said the driver should move the vehicle across. So they had to move the empty vehicles across. His car was actually the last vehicle. That was the day he had that accident. Remember that there was a smoke coming out from his vehicle and all of that. He was actually the last person to cross that river. And funny enough, when he get there, nothing was happening. They said, you see, this is why you guys only deceive me like that. But I need to see what you are doing there. I now tell the contractor that I'll be here in the next 3 days. And the problem is that he always take him unawares. He doesn't tell them when he's coming. He say, oh, I'll be here tomorrow. There's no preparation. And
just like that. You understand? So you see, Dr. Israel, you see, at times I tend to go along with people that will tell you that democracy is not right. It's not right for Nigeria yet. Because of what? Because of issues like this. You discover that somebody, for instance, I'm sorry to use this language of a miscreant from somewhere, because he has access to mobilize people. He will just come and people will now listen to him, and before you know, if you take someone like Rotimi Chibika, with the kind of experiences we had under him, to say, okay, we have seen him performing, we have seen him as a public servant, as an administrator, as a governor, we have seen him outside there, the passion and the dedication for the nation building, that the kind of energy he deployed to say, okay, look, the Lagos Ibadan, which was like a virgin land, it was like cleared.
Not just a virgin land, it was a thick forest.
Thick forest.
Yes.
Now laid, and within 2 years, we now have a brand new
functioning
standard gauge line.
Yeah.
You understand? So these are the kind of people that we want to see, and it's really sad that, look, this is an electioneering time. Campaign is going on here and there. Instead of them to talk about issues,
infrastructures, and
talking about non-issues. If you are talking about, say, okay, I will do this economy, I will do this, how do you intend to do it? So that engage us in a kind of a town hall meeting whereby we engage you in a question and answer session. You should be able to tell us. You understand? Rotimi Chibika has done it. We have seen it. You go after the contractor and say, look, do this, do that. You understand? virtually in all the project under the Ministry of
If you recall, most times sometimes during his inspections at, let's just use that Lagos Ibadan rail line, when it was still on that thick forest, he usually trek a long distance. Everybody will still complaining. What kind of man is this? People complain. What kind of man is this? He walked too much, and he will be the number one. He be the one to lead. Even when we enter that thick forest at the point, the people say, we will not go there. Some say, we have to go back to the car. Are we working for government or working for him? We have to go back. But in all of this, he had to pay the price. He makes sure. I will not forget his comment almost every time. Look, we don't have time. The president don't have time. Mr. President have to come and commission this project we don't have time. I promised him the date that he's going to commission it. I'll tell Nigerians, we don't have time. We want to complete this project. And, I think he should also be very happy that he witnessed the commissioning of that Lagos Ibadan railway. And at the same time, is still, functioning.
Apart from him, I believe that as a public servant, he has done his own, he has gone. You understand? It's not left for the people now. The people now, as I'm talking to you now, some people reside in Lagos, but they are working in Ibadan. I have a friend who is a student there in the UI. Virtually, he lives in Lagos, and from Lagos he commune Ibadan. You understand? This is made possible because we now have a kind of a brand new railway system, which is more comfortable for people to commune between the two cities. So you understand? So if all the other people that are aspiring to say, look, I want to be this, I want to be that, if you have that on your back of your mind to say, look, it's all about selfless service. You are going there as a servant leader. It means that you deliver. I believe that Amechi, he came into the limelight because he wanted to serve, and he dedicated his time and he served diligently. And today we have the result.
Until leaders begin to follow this trend of ensuring that what we make provision for, what we ask for is delivered, we will never get anywhere. So it's an example for us to follow. And I think it's a good one, commending him on that.
One would have said, other ministers would have made it possible, but if there's no zeal and determinations, the project can be possible.
That's what we
if there's no push, if there's somebody who is not leading right, this program will not be possible. And if former governor of Rivers State and former minister of transportation was the kind of persons who want to read on newspaper, read on paper, read the result on deploy the directors to go and do monitoring, there's no achievement in this structure, because today,
I believe that time that he was even doing that, some of his directors don't even like it because they understand today, the president was commissioning the deep seaport, Lekki deep seaport, which was one of the major achievements under these administrations. And most time when people count about infrastructure, they mention transport. When you count about what the administration have achieved, it's not only about people. Even if you listen very well, the body language of Mr. President, and several times, whenever he wants to talk about his infrastructural development achievement, he usually talk about a railway revolution. You understand? And when you are talking about the railway revolution, you now talk about who midwife it, who bring it into a kind of a conceptualize it and reality. So I believe that Mr. President himself is so proud of the revolution that takes place in the Ministry of Transportation.
Well, we are saying congratulations to the present administrations and the Mr. President, who is the chief executive officer of the federation, and we also want to thank the Minister of Transportation, former Minister of Transportation, working minister, and also congratulating the current Minister of Transport, congratulating all the department, and also congratulating the company that also, all the people that contributed, contractors that made this possible. This shows us that it's possible, that Nigerians can do it, that we have polity leaders who can make this happen. One of the legacy I mentioned leave behind was to tell Nigerians, look, it is possible that we, as a Nigerian, it is possible that we can do it. And he have also practicalized it and shown it by, like Embroidery Award, you have shown it by example, So doing all of this, I could recall so many trips in, especially the one in Kaduna that was ongoing. And if you watch, he's only one that will be in front. You want to be there, you want to see, there's a lot of argument. He keep telling you, We don't have time. The government doesn't have time. We have just 4 year time. We have just 4 year time. We need to complete the project before we leave office. I've given Mr. President assurance, and I don't want to fail. So we keep, recalling and also, pushing day and night. I also want to encourage other leaders that are in that aiding different parastatals and agencies and other ministers to also try and push, because this shows that we can do it. It's possible for us to change our nation. It's possible.
Are Nigerians. Understand?
It's possible for us to change that. Yeah, Nigerians are beneficiaries, and also it's possible for us to change our nation. We're going to bring you other news that are happening around apart from the Ministry of Transportation. We're also going to bring other news related to politics, especially when you looked at the politics going on in Rivers State. And APC kicked off their campaign. Was it last week?
Yeah, last week.
And the grand finale of those campaigns, the venue of those campaigns is something else. We are hearing that Toyoko is waxing very strong, and today there are people they are out there today campaigning as well. Let's just look at we have one of our colleagues that are going to be talking to us from the campaign ground right now. Kate Zibo is there on ground to discuss with us and also give us a highlight of what is happening in the campaign ground. Kate, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Oh, okay. Let me just ask you a simple question. What is going on right now where you are?
Okay, we just got to Andoni. It was a really long drive, and we're trying to consult the traditional ruler here. We are actually at this Samara. I hope I'm correct. In Andoni, that's where we are right now.
Also, okay, so that's where you are now. You have not reached your venue of the campaign, right?
We're very close to you, but the usual practice is when you get into somebody's vicinity, you need to go consult with the leaders or with the heads there so that you take their permission to go speak to their people. So that's where we are right now. That's what we're doing right now.
Okay, so can you just give us an analysis of your previous campaign that have done so far, and how was it? How is it turn up like?
Oh, the turnout has been massive. It has been very exciting. It's been, it's been thunderous. It's been very, 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 very surprising and shocking, even to us as APC members.
All right. So, are you confident of your victory?
Of course, we're confident of our victory. You could see it from the turnout. With everything that's playing out, you could see that the All Progressive Congress really has a chance. And in fact, the ticket is actually tilting to the side of Pastor Toyeko. He's getting support from everywhere. So yes, we are 100% confident that we're winning this election.
Do you have a question to ask her?
Well, I have a Kate, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
I have been looking forward to the candidates of the PDP all along. I have not, if you ask me about the candidate of the PDP up till now, I have not seen his picture. I have not seen his picture. Neither did I see his footage anywhere in campaigning. What is happening within the PDP? Can you tell us what is happening?
Okay, as we all know, it is Governor Wike himself that has been doing the campaign for the gubernatorial candidate of PDP, and not him. But people need to hear him speak. And then the other day at Falga, when our APC gubernatorial candidate challenged him and told him that he was going to pay for airtime for him to come speak to Rivers people. People went on his knees. And then 2 days later, we saw him on air. I don't know if you've seen that clip. It was nothing to write home about. Now, for some people, they said he could not speak English. For me, that's not it. He had practically nothing to tell Rivers people. Practically nothing. And so where do we even start from? So he has not been speaking, not because he doesn't want to talk, but because he has nothing to tell Rivers people. He has nothing to tell Rivers people. Can I join you?
So, Israel, what question do you have for Kate?
Yeah, so are you saying that the power of incumbency is not coming to play in this whole issue of the River State politics?
Are we saying that the power of what?
The power of incumbency is not playing out.
Of course, the emergence of sin. If by mistake, of course, it will happen, but the emergence of sin will be an emergence of wicked. That will be a tough term for wicked, because sin knows nothing about politics. He knows nothing about leadership. He knows nothing about the rivers people. He's a gentleman and an accountant, and he should go to the office and do what he knows how to do, and leave politics alone. In that way, the other day we heard that he was slapped by the governor for calling a meeting and all of that. So these are the things we're going to do. He needs to take instruction from Wike before he does anything in River State. Is that the kind of governor we want to have? Certainly no.
It will be disastrous.
Certainly no.
In this 21st century, it will be disastrous to a state like Rivers to have a governor
that means godfatherism is still playing out heavily.
Yes, heavily. Godfatherism, where you need to be answerable to somebody. And that's not what we need. We need a state where the person who is the leadership will listen to Rivers people and not somebody who is seated somewhere.
But considering this campaign, has there been any kind of attacks on people of APC or anything? Has it been smooth running, or is it just the usual one or two?
It's really been smooth running.
Okay.
Especially since the campaign kicked off with HA local government, when that crowd was seen, it put fear in the opposition. It made them understand that it is not business as usual. Yes, I'm sure that they thought that after taking the billboards away from us, after taking the primary schools, after setting up orders that would make us not to campaign, probably they thought we were sleeping. They didn't know that we were doing our homework, and we said, have the school, have the billboards, while we people. And now we have the people, and they are scared. And because they are scared, and because they have never really won election in this town, even in 2019, the governor know how he emerged. Because they are scared, the only option they have right now is violence. But you know what? We are not turning down.
So
we'll match them one for one. Anyhow they want it.
How much of this gathered information are we getting across to INEC?
You said?
How much of this information are you getting across to INEC so that they will be able to know what's on ground and quickly inform the security officials?
Okay, first of all, there's been state conferences held at the party level. Even at the last attack that was done on Falga, on Port Harcourt local government, the community there where that event held has come out to say, to refute the claim. I'm sure you saw the ugly claim and the ugly position that the Nigerian police took with respect to that matter. And the community came out to say, no, that was not what happened. There were shootings and there was a dynamite explosion. So, and even till today, we are dragging that particular DPO who made that report, because until he comes out to speak the truth and tell Rivers people and tell Nigerians what happened on Father ground, we will not let him rest. That is the truth. These are the things, these are the kind of injustice that led to NSAT. And if it continues, you're simply telling the youth, you're simply telling APC members to go and carry guns, because right now, that display and that report written by the police is simply telling us that on the election day we should be ready. They've already been bought over and all that, and we hope that he's been changed. Yes, that particular DPO, I don't know who he is, but we hope he's been changed.
On a final note, I would just advise that make sure that your evidence are concrete, so that it can be substantive enough to substantiate everything we are probably alleging now or claiming. All the best.
Let me ask you another question before, because we'll still bring you back later we'll bring you back later live when we are ready to, when you are ready for live transmission. So now let me ask you a simple question. Now you've arrived. What do you expect today? What do you expect? What do you want to see?
Okay, today we're expecting to see Andoni people come out in the large numbers. We're still on our way to where the event is taking place. Israel, we're doing a lot of work. Trust me, you need to see, anybody who knows where this community where we are right now is, you know that we just want to meet with these people. What's the name of this town again? Ungo Town. Just ask where Ungo Town is, so you will know that what it took us to get here. A lot of vehicles got caught on the road and all that, but we still move. So we're expecting to see Angoni people appreciate this opportunity. The only thing we've come to do is to tell them to come and see their governor, come and see who will be representing you this after this election, and make sure you use your PVC and speak. That's all we're saying.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back when you are ready for live. Please do well to send us content from Andoni, and wish you well. Thank you and bye for now. He mentioned godfatherism. He said that MEP Award. He said that the candidate of PDP organized a meeting without the permission of the governor, and I don't know how true is that, but they look in that and let even like maybe godfatherism still exists in our Nigerian democracy. Is it what Nigeria need that now?
It's a sad development that we are still dealing with godfatherism to this extent. I think the last time we had this kind of godfatherism to that extent of saying somebody, a particular person, will now try to lord over someone with authority. It was back then in the early part of this fourth democracy. That was in Oyo State, whereby we have Lamidi Adedebo, whereby a sitting governor must take order from him, to the extent that I think President Obasanjo then now said a kind of a garrison politics. That was how Obasanjo termed it. So now we are having something similar to that in 2023. All along, I ask her this question because all along, just I, like every other Nigerian, we are trying to look forward to say, okay, to hear from. If you ask me, if you show me a picture of the governor candidate of PDP in Rivers, I don't know, because I've not heard him speaking. I've not seen him talking either on TV or on a radio station. I don't know him. So all we keep seeing is Governor, His Excellency Governor Yusuf Wike coming out to talk, speak, and in every campaign. I don't even know him, because we are expecting him to say, okay, if the candidate of the PDP, if he's at any of the campaign venue, people will be looking forward to hear from him to say, okay, this is what I intend doing. If you give me my mandate, give me your mandate. But we don't hear that. We don't know him. It means that at the end of the day, the present governor will continue to rule in proxy. That is what it means. Rivers State is one of the kind of advanced state within Nigeria, whereby it's too big for a state whereby you have someone dictating to the governor of the state. So the choice is before the electorate in the Rivers. The choice is before them. They shouldn't allow that to happen. If they allow that to happen, it means that Rivers will be dragged backward to what we had in the 80s.
In final note, what do you have to say, please?
Godfatherism seems to be like cultism, though I would say it's dwindling down. Unlike what we had at the beginning of the fourth transition, like you said, like for instance, it was the same godfatherism that Wike fought for in a door of Godwin Obaseki, that against Oshiomhole, that no, it's not going to happen, and we are seeing a replay of such thing. So that was why I said it's like a cultism that is, but it's dying down gradually. But when you begin to toy with people's ego, they begin to show this out. Like Alhaji said, the campaign has been mostly from Wike, Nyesom Wike, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, that most of the time when he was commissioning, most of the things he was commissioning, you see, he will always confer. I think I heard the name of the man is Sim or something from one of this thing. So godfatherism is not going to do us any good, except we begin to talk about candidates and issues at hand in this country. Godfatherism is not going to help, but the problem I see from godfatherism is what it costs to play and win elections in Nigeria, and you cannot draw out how much people are paying to ensure that they secure political offices, and that is where the godfatherism. But when people begin to discuss issues and begin to discuss about candidates themselves, I think it should dwindle down finally.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And this is your first time of joining us. Do not forget to follow us on social media handle, and our social media handle out there on asfericnews.com. And if you are following us on Facebook, official Aspheric News, on our Instagram is Aspheric News, and also on our Twitter page, remain Aspheric News. Don't forget to also follow us or subscribe on our YouTube channel at Aspheric TV if you want to watch more or get more content, breaking news about Aspheric. Do not forget to click on www.asphericnews.com, and I repeat, www.asphericnews.com. In case you want to send us information regarding your area, what is happening or breaking news, do not forget to send us on a WhatsApp on +234 80 99998117, and I repeat, +234 80 99998117. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Alhaji. Thank you, Israel, for joining us for today's description. Thank you so much, and bye for now. Until we meet again.